Welcome to your weekly airplane news update. We are getting really close to 1 year, one full year. So this is episode 51, and this is the week of January 10, 2022. We got 5 stories this week. Actually, we have 6 stories, but one of them is disguised into one. There was a plane crash. You may have seen the video, but if you haven't, this is kind of dramatic. A plane crash that landed on train tracks and then got hit by a train. Just incredible. We'll talk also about a mystery ground stop that happened earlier this week, and we'll talk about the details. Delta has decided to drop the degree requirement from their hiring pool. We'll talk about the implications of that. And we'll have an industry update talking about the 5G saga that has been going on, and also talking about FlyZolo, that young girl who's flying around the world. So let's get to it. All right, the first story this week, I want to give you a quick warning. There is some, we're going to be showing some footage that may be not pleasant for some people. There's a little bit of blood. Nobody died, so I just want to mention this. So if you want to skip to the next story, if you don't like this kind of stuff. But this happened in the LA area. The LAPD rescued a 70-year-old man that crashed. As soon as he took off, he lost the engine and then crashed, and then ended up on train tracks, of all places. Not really his day, unfortunately. But as soon as they landed, they were able to extract him from the wreckage, and as soon as they did, the train just came blasting and hit the aircraft. You can see the footage in the background. It's kind of chilling, actually. The body cam from one of the LAPD officer was able to capture the entire footage and capture the rescue. Just very unlucky for 2 reasons, because he took off, lost his engine, crashed on railroad tracks, but was able to get rescued. So I'm sure that he's very grateful for the LAPD people that put their lives at risk trying to get him out. But he seemed to be in stable condition. That's how he was listed. So it looks like he's going to make it. So kind of exciting. There's 2 angles. There's actually several angles from people that were filming this. The second angle was from the side, and you can see actually a piece of the wreckage that flies right next to the person. So they also get very lucky not to get hit by that big piece of airplane that was flying nearby. The next story this week is a mystery ground stop that happened earlier this week. That was on Monday around 2:30 p.m. And some pilots were told that there was a national security issue that was going on, and that they were instructed to land wherever they were. This happened on the eastern part of Arizona all the way to Hawaii, and some controllers told the pilots that the ground stop was happening nationwide. It didn't look like it was nationwide, but there is some speculation that there was a North Korean missile test that was going on, and that kind of declared an emergency and then grounded all the aircraft. So we're not sure if that's true just yet. That hasn't been confirmed, but we'll let you know if we find more information. We'll let you know next week. All right, the next story this week is Delta decided to drop the degree requirement from all future pilots that they're going to hire. They announced that a degree, a college degree, is no longer required for pilots that are going to apply. They did not mention the fact that the pilot shortage was the reason for this. They did mention a bunch of other reasons. I'm going to read you a statement here. It says, while we feel as strongly as ever about the importance of education, there are highly qualified candidates, people who we would want to welcome to our Delta family, who have gained more than the equivalent of a college education through years of life and leadership experience. Essentially, what they're saying is that they want to hire people that have experience, that don't necessarily have a college degree, but would technically fit into that mold and fit as great Delta pilots. I can somewhat understand that. I still think there is a big reason to drop this because of the pilot shortage. I'm sure a lot of the airlines don't want to get to the point where they agree that there's a pilot shortage. I don't know why this is such a weird issue, but this has been going on for years. We've been warning the airlines for years that there will be a pilot shortage. I say we. I was in the flight training world for a long time, and we saw this happening about 10 years ago, and now it's here. So I'm sure there will be other airlines that are going to follow suit very soon. When they realize that this is what Delta is doing. So, all right, a few industry updates. Let's do a follow-up on this 5G fiasco that happened over the last couple of weeks. The FAA went from saying that they were asking the telecom companies to delay the release of the 5G network by 30 days. That took us into January. And then in January, the telecom companies said, we're done. We're not going to wait any longer. We're going to make this happen. And then a few days later, I gave you an update from CES where the telecom company said, well, we thought about it and we're actually going to wait a little bit longer, mostly because they were getting sued left and right for the release of the 5G. And now the FAA has issued a list of 50 airports that are going to be protected from the 5G signal for at least the next 6 months. So now we're kicking down the can for the next 6 months until the FAA and the telecom company and probably the FCC as well can figure out this whole mess and make sure that that airplanes can fly safely, right? That's kind of the bottom line. Second industry update is FlyZolo, the young lady who's flying across the world in her aircraft solo. She stopped in Greece at the moment for a few rest days, and then she's going to be back next week. When we meet again, she should be done with her trip. We're actually going to try to get her on the show to talk to us about the experience. We've been following her for a while. This is kind of an exciting journey, and we wish her the best. Hopefully she gets to Belgium very soon and gets done with her long trip. So, all right, that's all we have this week. Like, subscribe, comment, do everything that you do, and we'll see you guys next week.